Hi, I'm Tori Hageman. The other day, a customer of mine wanted 6 of my large paintings, and while that may happen to you all the time, that was the first time I had had such a large sale at one time, and it was really exciting. And as I was watching these paintings go out of the house, there was one in particular that jumped out to me, and I thought, I've got to get some extra photographs of this one. Even though it's of a very traditional scene, I painted it in such a way that it's much more contemporary than anything I'd ever done before. And I thought, I've got to make a mental note of some of these different things that I did in this painting so that I can duplicate it again, hopefully. And then I thought you might be interested in seeing these things as well, to give you some fresh ideas for things you can do to your painting to make it look a little different, a little more contemporary. Stay tuned, I'd love to share with you. As I was saying goodbye to this painting and looking at it carefully, I noticed that there were 8 things that I did a little differently in this painting and that I might want to duplicate in future. Let me show you those 8 items. So for the shadows for the hay bales, I would typically use something kind of high key like a blue or a purple. But in this painting, I used brown instead, and it kept the foreground from demanding too much attention. I think it gave great color harmony, and it was just a real different look for me. We tend to think of yellows, whites, maybe some orange when we're wanting to lighten an area or show sunlight, but I also added some light pink to those hay bales. Nothing dramatic, but it added a little unexpected color, and I really liked how it kept it looking like it was still in the bright sun, but it added a little more interest to it. There were 2 things I did in the foreground field that I thought worked really well. For the more solid area, I dipped my brush in yellow ochre, reds, and oranges without mixing the colors on the palette. I just let my brush pick up mixtures and let them go down just as they happened. For the foreground texture, I used a lot of paint, mainly yellow ochre and Naples yellow, and I used an upward flicking motion to leave strong brush marks. I didn't put them everywhere, but just in certain areas. I thought it gave a great sense of texture and interest in that foreground. One of the things that seemed very strong and contemporary and not typical of me was the dark silhouetted tree on the left and the bush farther back on the right. If you'll notice, they're just super dark green without any branches or details or sky holes. Very strong and demanding and unexpected. I like that contemporary look very much. Then there was that little twiggy tree that was in the photograph, and it's something I normally might have left out, but I think it gave an interesting little surprise in the middle of the painting. I'm usually trying to have a main focal point in a painting, but this one had a lot of interesting elements, and I might get a little braver in future by trying to incorporate multiple focal points. One of my favorite things about this painting are the rows of the field in the back of the painting. I took a big brush and dipped it in oranges, reds, and golds, and I just put down very loose, wavy, irregular strokes. I tend to paint very tightly, and this was a very freeing experience. I didn't worry about the rows lining up or looking the same. I just used tons of paint, and I used my arm and elbow to paint, not just my hand. I really love the effect of this. My favorite part, I guess, of the painting. The other thing I really liked about this painting was the way I treated the trees in the very back of the painting. Again, almost no detail, just a sense that they're strong, big trees. And I incorporated some blue into them to push them even farther back into the canvas. So I hope you've gleaned an idea or 2 from this video. I'd love for you to share in the comments things you do to get a looser, more contemporary look in your paintings. And as always, if you'll hit the like and subscribe, you don't have to worry about missing any future videos. Hey, if you'd like to see how I might be able to help you on your painting journey, check out my website at victoriahagemanart.com. Links in the description box below. Thank you, and God bless.